Welcome to another edition of Mining Now. I'm your host, Roy Slack, and we're filming live from Mine Expo in Las Vegas. And it's my pleasure today to talk with a couple of gentlemen from Orica Digital Solutions. And I have with me Alfred Tsang, who's product manager with Orica Digital Solutions, and Daniel Andrew, who is a senior product manager with the group.
Hey, Roy.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Thanks.
Good. Glad to have you guys here. I know about Orica, okay, but I'm not as familiar with Oracle Digital Solutions, so I'm really interested to dig into that. But first of all, I want to hear about the two of you, about your background, how you got involved in the industry. So Daniel, maybe you could tell us, how did you get involved in mining?
Yeah, sure. So I studied geology at the University of Canterbury in New Zealand, so I'm Kiwi. Towards the end of my degree, I was lucky enough to land one of the graduate positions with Orica. So started with them in 2012. Like I said, I studied geology, but didn't do any of that at Orica really. It was straight into a graduate tech services engineer role. So essentially helping people design better blasts. I suppose it's a little bit to do with geology, using chemical energy to break rocks instead of looking at rocks through a microscope and understanding which ones they are and what they're worth to a company. But yeah, it's since then been with Orica for almost 13 years now. So I've transitioned through technical services, and then in 2021 I joined Orica Digital Solutions as a business analyst, and then went from business analyst to product owner and then product manager.
So I'm a mining engineer, which means I know a little bit about blasting, but nothing about geology. So I'm going to count on you for any geological explanations.
Like I said, it was 12 years ago, so I don't know a lot about geology anymore either, just how to break them.
Okay. Well, Alfred, what's your background? How did you get involved?
Yeah, so mining engineer background. I studied at UNSW, or University of New South Wales in Australia. And I think the year before I graduated, I spent a summer actually working with Orica Mining Services in Australia, in Townsville, in the north of Queensland. I spent 3 months working on blast crew, helping load holes in central Queensland, in northwest Queensland, sorry. And that's sort of where I got my blasting bug, right? That's where I got into the whole blasting industry. Since then, finished university, went and worked at then Xstrata Zinc in Mount Isa mines. Did a bit of blasting, engineering, a bit of short-term planning. Then I worked in a mine called Hale Creek, the coal mine in central Queensland. From there, working in a mining software firm based in Brisbane. Did 5 years there, and then the last 2 years ago, I moved over to Orica Digital Solutions and as a product manager as well.
Okay, so I find that interesting. As a student, we all did different things as a student, but you found something that really interested you, and you gravitated back to it eventually. So, good.
Blasting reels a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Something about the big booms.
Yeah. Seeing large rocks turned into little rocks. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our heavy industry world tour, brought to you by Savona Equipment. Find, market, and sell surplus and used equipment. And FogMaker. Protect lives and vehicles with FogMaker fire suppression systems, because safety can never be a compromise. We are heading to events across North America and Australia and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's heavy industry world tour. Is your screen struggling to keep up with your throughput goals? General Kinematics STM Screen is changing the way mines think about their screening process. The lowest cost of ownership in a vibrating screen package comes from General Kinematics. GK's technology is proven to last longer than standard mining screens. They match longevity with increased screening efficiency to create the reliable performance mine sites demand. To explore all of what General Kinematics has to offer, visit gkmining.com. Nordlock Group, a global expert in bolting and engineering solutions, offers technologies for the challenging environments of the mining industry. Their products help to increase safety and lower costly downtime for machinery such as rope shovels, haul trucks, and drills. Discover their comprehensive portfolio, including Nordlock wedge locking washers for superior vibration resistance, the expander system for pivot pins with robust durability, Superbolt strut kits for precise alignment and maintenance ease, and bolt-tight hydraulic tensioners for reliable bolt tightening in confined radial spaces. Visit nord-lock.com to learn more. In mining, reliable connectivity is essential for both efficiency and safety. Communication engineers often struggle to maintain network coverage in tough environments. For over 20 years, Pointing has been at the forefront of solving these challenges with a range of circular polarized helical antennas. Their antennas support cellular and Wi-Fi networks and are tailored for both open pit and underground operations. Ensure reliable mining communication. Get in touch with Pointing now. Visit pointing.tech.
I mentioned before, I know about Orica. We've used their products before, but we're talking today about Orica Digital Solutions.
Yep.
And this is an aspect, a value-added aspect that the company provides to clients. So give me a little bit of background on Orica Digital Solutions, how it developed and where we are today.
Want to go first?
You've done it longer.
Okay. So, I mean, Orica Digital Solutions in some way, shape or form has probably been around for about 35 years. So that's our oldest digital product, which is now called SHOTPlus, was then called ShotPlan. And today, actually, we launched the next generation of that, Next Gen SHOTPlus. So for around 35 years, Orica has had some kind of digital aspect. But around 6 years ago, that was kind of formalized into what we now call ODS, or Orica Digital Solutions. So largely, Orica Digital Solutions is about connecting our customers with connecting their physical world to, the digital world, and using sensors and analysis and spatial applications to help them optimize their blast or measure the outcomes of their blast and really target collaboration throughout the whole mining value chain.
It evolved from, if I got this right, one specific application.
ShotPlan,
originally.
Yeah, ShotPlan was the first digital application, and as the industry's need and appetite for digital solutions or technologies has come about, Orica has been there to meet that need.
Okay, so what was the next product, or what was the evolution from the original product?
ShotPlan was for designing pyrotechnic initiation designs. And then from there, it went to LoadPlan or LoadPlus, which was all about digitizing the charging information about the explosive products that went in the hole. So this big truck behind us delivers explosive product into holes, and LoadPlus was all about capturing that data and bringing it back to the users.
Really efficiency?
Yeah, efficiency, but also more data to help people understand. I designed that product to have 12 ton of explosive. Did it actually have 12 ton, or did it have 13.5 ton of explosive? And how much did that individual hole have? Did it have the 300 kilos that I asked for, or did it have 400?
Yeah. No, I remember specifically being through that in the shaft where we weren't stemming properly, we were wasting explosive and then dealing with ammonia as well. So it was kind of a double negative. But these are things that just happen every day, and without that feedback or that data, you may be wasting explosives.
Yeah, all about quality control, right?
Yeah. The next product, I don't know if it's the next product, but we wanted to talk about OREPro.
Mm-hmm.
And so where is that in the evolution, and what's that all about?
Yeah, ORPro actually came within Orica Digital Solutions as an acquisition. But since the year of the acquisition, I think it was about 2021, it's been fully incorporated into the Orica Digital Solutions portfolio, right? And what ORPro does is it gives our customers and our users the ability to understand what their geology is after blasting, and which is a really crucial part of recovering the value that you need to recover to make the mine economical, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
CIM is Canada's leading technical institute dedicated to the sustainability of our industry. Members enjoy professional growth opportunities through CIM libraries, publications, webinars, societies, and the job board. Experience the CIM community firsthand at the Conference of Metallurgists, August 19th to 22nd, ICARD, September 16th to 20th, and the CIM Health and Safety Conference, October 6th to 8th. Visit CIM.org for more information and join CIM today. In the toughest environments, you need the hardest, toughest steel. With a full range of grades designed to meet the extreme demands of hard-wearing applications from mining to construction and heavy transport, Hardock's wear plate has it covered. Trust Hardock's wear steel to extend your equipment service life, boost efficiency, and power up productivity. Their wear experts partner with industry leaders to deliver solutions that stand up to any test. Ready to tackle your toughest wear challenges? Bring it on. Visit hardocks.com to learn more. Techway designs, manufactures, and services high-quality industrial scales and feeders. For over 50 years, processors of everything from French fries to frac sand have counted on Techway to provide the most durable, accurate, and reliable in-motion feeding, weighing, and metering equipment for their dried material handling needs. They specialize in providing tailored solutions that endure the test of time and material. Techway's quality line of products are proudly made in the USA. Learn more at techway.com.
So when you talk about geology after blasting, I think of fragmentation. But I'm not a geologist either, so I need some more clarity on that one.
Yeah, we can talk about fragmentation as we've got products in that sort of topic and domain as well.
Yeah.
But when I say geology for grade control, effectively,
I see.
Yeah, it's understanding the concentration of your valuable mineralogy in the post-blast world.
Okay, and the applications, I mean, I'm an underground guy, but are the applications pit and underground, or do you find more application in open pit?
Each product's different, so OREPro is not primarily. OREPro is for open pit operations, specifically metallurgists, if anything else. But SHOTPlus has variants for underground and tunneling.
For development and for stoping?
Yeah.
So the current generation of SHOTPlus has 3 main variants. So there's SHOTPlus Surface, which is for open cut operations and quarrying operations. There's SHOTPlus Underground, which is for underground production blasting, and there is SHOTPlus Tunnel, which is for underground development or civil tunneling work.
Yeah.
With the Next Gen SHOTPlus application, all of that will kind of be rolled into one application instead of being 3 separate entities to kind of simplify that, especially for operations that have, examples of both. Okay,
well, you segued into that because we are at a mining conference, but I'm picturing that this has applications beyond mining. I mean, there's lots of civil work, there's different things going out there, but are you guys involved in that, or are you involved in mining?
In terms of digital technologies, our products don't necessarily have to be just the mining industry, right? But that's where we find the core concentration of our customers anyways, because it's maybe not more impactful, but much more relevant in day-to-day in their operations and usage.
Because it's more about production.
Yeah.
Where in civils, it's not as much about production as it is about...
No, so we do have quite a few products for the construction and civil industry, but that becomes much more about precision and quality of the blasting outcome. Not to say that that's not relevant for mining either, but it's obviously a much more nuanced balance between that precision and the productivity of the operation. Yeah.
Got it. So before we started the show, we were introduced to another so how is that for new? It's new technology in Next Gen SHOTPlus. Did I get
Correct.
that right?
You did.
Okay, tell me about that.
So, like I said earlier, SHOTPlus has been around in some way, shape or form for about 35 years. And literally today we launched the next generation of that technology, Next Gen SHOTPlus. So it's a complete reimagining or rebuilding of the SHOTPlus platform, which is pretty much the first time in the lifespan of SHOTPlus that has happened. So the main kind of focus for Next Gen SHOTPlus in this first iteration is giving drill and blast engineers the foresight to be able to design and optimize their blasts. And that foresight comes through the ability to do predictive modeling. So Next Gen SHOTPlus comes with 3 inherent models. So one is the Hellfire damage model, so allowing engineers to understand how the way they position their holes and how they load those holes and how they time those holes influences the damage imparted on the rock mass. So both the broken rock mass and the in-situ rock mass left behind. It also has an implementation of the ODS platform physics engine, which is used by OREPro to enable a movement modeling within the application. So that's really exciting for drill and blast engineers. It's not really something they've had at their fingertips before, especially good when you're talking about interface blasting on pit edges or really trying to optimize muck pile profiles for excavation or specific dig units. And then the third model we have in the application is vibration modeling via advanced vibration management solution, or AVM. So that is direct integration with our Blast IQ platform, and it allows engineers to submit a blast design and generate vibration predictions at multiple points of interest, allowing them to understand how that blast design the levels of vibration that blast design will generate at specific points. But it also enhances collaboration. So in a lot of mines, you have drill and blast engineer designing a blast and firing a certain way, and then it'll go to the grade control geologist and they'll put it into OREPro and they go, why is he doing it like that? With Next Gen SHOTPlus, we have the model through time. So the model through time is a cloud-hosted digital twin, and it's where SHOTPlus sources its data from. And once you've designed a blast, it also syncs the data back to the model through time. So it's a complete track record of the blast you've fired. But the model through time also feeds ORPro. So let's say I'm a drill and blast engineer, Alfred's a grade control geologist. I can design a blast, I can generate 1 or 2 or 3 different initiation designs, and then I can submit that back to the model through time, the digital replica of the operation. And then from there, Alfred has access to it via ORPro. And I won't talk to what Alfred would do at that point.
Please do. I've been talked out today.
It means that the grade control geologist can be proactive about what is happening in the drill and blast space, because obviously it impacts how that material is moved in the blast. So it allows them to kind of work collaboratively with the drill and blast engineer via a digital solution, for both of them to come to an understanding about what the best blast design is for whole of mine value, rather than just a drill and blast engineer looking at their desired outcomes and their constraints. It means that you've got now 2 personas working together to maximize whole of mine value.
So this is the first I've heard of it, but I keyed on a couple things. One thing you mentioned, which I found interesting, we usually don't worry about the rock that's left. Okay, we're trying to break rock, fragment it the right way, get it out. But you mentioned that you can begin to look at not just what you break, but what you leave, which I find really interesting.
Yeah, and Alfred, I'll probably get you to jump in there, because it's.
And what we leave behind. Just having a quick point on the Hellfire model that Dan mentioned. The safety aspect of it is paramount, right? The Hellfire model allows our users to be able to understand what level of damage they're imparting onto walls and final walls, which are crucial not just for the total economic value that they're going to be able to recover from each cutback or stage or final pit, but also the safety of people that need to operate underneath those walls. So in terms of what we leave behind in the safety sense, absolutely paramount. But some of the really exciting things that we've brought into MineExpo today as we've launched Next Gen SHOTPlus and how it operates with the model through time, as Dan mentioned, is how the model through time also helps to foster the collaboration with the grade control and production geologists. Speaking about ORPro specifically, it has gone through some iterations and evolutions, right? Yeah. ORPro effectively is 2 main tools. It's a first tool to understand how the blast has moved, and the second tool is how should we mine it to recover the best economic value that is remaining in the post-blast muck pile. So
analysis, design.
Yeah.
Basically getting the feedback to be able to design better blasts.
That would be what...
That's a simple...
Yeah, it's not a wrong rendition. I guess that's more suited to describe SHOTPlus. So ORPro for production geologists, what it fundamentally does is it helps geologists understand all the hard-earned money and time that they've put into estimating the resource that's in the ground.
Yeah, defining it, finding it.
Exactly. And they build a block model around it. They use that to build the economic plan, and the mine planners take it to build their mine planning schedule. But then us blasting engineers come along and we break it and we throw it across the pit, right? So where is that resource now? Where is the concentration of that valuable ore? And then what concentration is it left? So that's what OREPro does. It helps you understand where the geology and the ore grades were in the in situ pre-blast and where it ends up being post-blast. So once we have that understanding, we can then build and generate some optimized polygons. So dig destinations effectively. If I mine this group of material in the post-blast and designate it as high grade, how much can I recover from that? If I designate this as medium grade, how much will I recover, etc., etc. It depends on the operation and how they classify the material they want to dig. I guess what's really exciting about what we've brought forward today is this collaboration, right? And as Dan said, working in silos is sort of the traditional way. Blasting engineers blast because that's what they need to do, and grade control geologists try and deal with what's left behind. But what we can do now, and with the physics movement engine that we've had in the system for about 18 months, we're able to actually predict the movement. So let's say Dan produces a blast design. Before we even fire it, we can run it through the physics movement, and we can give it to the grade control geologist, and they can look at it and say, well, given this blast design, if we go and optimize how we can dig it, the direction we're going to dig it, the constraints of the excavators, the trucks that we have, what are the types of delineations of polygons that will give us the best value. And if that outcome is suboptimal or just on par, we can do something about it because we haven't fired it yet, right? We can talk to the blasting engineers and say, look, can we try some different options? Perhaps if we fire it this way. It's really good operations that I've been to do that in some way, shape or form, but it was just never supported by this technology, this collaboration, this predictive capability. And that's what we have now, right? With Next Gen SHOTPlus and the model through time, AllProo, it's all part of the same ecosystem.
So I really like the way you've put it with collaboration, because what I'm hearing is you've got some softwares collaborating with each other. But the product is facilitating collaboration within the operations to a point where even Daniel could design a blast. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, Daniel would.
That's why I laughed when he said, it's been a long time since I had to do one in anger.
Daniel can design blasts.
Maybe that's why it's called Hellfire, right?
Yeah, so collaboration is a big part of it. So, and what we're really strong on in Orica Digital Solutions is workflows and the understanding of workflows. So not building technologies for the sake of technologies. I mean, we've owned AllProo, we've owned SHOTPlus for multiple years, and SHOTPlus obviously for 35 years. Why now? Well, because the need is there. And the
there's
technologies
a hunger too, for data people are beginning to understand that data can actually help.
Exactly. And we've developed technology to a point where we can, in mining timeframes, produce predictive simulations and models that represent real life.
So I've got a question for you guys, because I talk to a lot of people about innovation in general. And my opinion is the mining industry is very innovative, but the challenge we have isn't innovation, it's adoption. Right? So you guys are innovating and creating this product. What's the next step? How do you get clients to adopt it and to embrace it?
I think it's what I mentioned. It's understanding the workflows. We can build very fantastic, high-performing models in general, but if they don't serve a need, if they don't actually solve a problem or enhance and add value to a customer,
return on investment.
Exactly. So our focus has always been, all right, what would a user want to do? How would they take this technology, or how would they present a problem to us that we can think about solving with technology?
I think the industry in the past, and we may have been guilty of this in our prior lives before as well, is trying to tell their customers what they need rather than actually listening to what they need. So we are very lucky in Orica in that customers are very willing to talk to us and tell us the struggles they're having, the bottlenecks they have in their operations. And then we're lucky enough that we have the teams to go and build solutions to those problems. So Next Gen SHOTPlus, the model through time and the collaboration with ORPro is a direct result of us listening to our customers and them kind of telling us that there was no supporting workflow for that collaboration between the drill and blast engineer and the geologist. So I think that's a really good way to foster adoption, is to not tell operations or operators what they need, to listen to what they think they need, and try and deliver that as best you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that really resonated with me. I don't know if you saw my reaction when you said that, but we talk in our industry in contracting about educating the clients. And we came to this epiphany that, no, that's not how it goes. It's having the clients educate us to what they need and then delivering that value. So that's what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. I think innovation is a really funny thing. Sometimes, you want to lead with advances in just the technology, but what we're about at Orica is that, as well as, well, what are the practical applications and how do we talk to our customers? So the AllProo and SHOTPlus journey is a very interesting one to, I guess, a case study to validate that point. Orica Digital has owned AllProo for a while. It has always been able to simulate and model the movement of blasts and then optimize how you should dig it for ore recovery. SHOTPlus has always been there to help engineers design blasts from the ground up. What is the best energy to place in those holes, and what is the effect of that in terms of vibration and damage? And because we've had this predictive capability within OREPro for the past year and a half, some of the feedback we've got was we've been using, the customers are telling us, we've been using it to actually see what other alternate designs would do. But the problem was for them to do that with the previous iterations of the technology before what we've launched today. They were effectively designing one blast in SHOTPlus, making another copy, altering the design, making another copy, altering the design.
And never learning from the...
And it was never stored in the central
changes.
place.
Yeah.
You had to send those files through, and there was communication of what was going on in which design. But then the production geologists would have to process each one and understand, okay, well, running the workflow 3 times, what the best option was.
And what change helped and what change didn't.
And tracking those design changes and decisions that were made, right? And that's a big part of it. And what that led us to do is develop this ecosystem that, well, let's just make the technologies talk, a common language, a common model, a common data source.
Yeah. And I want to bring back one more thing we talked about very briefly, that, and I want your opinion on it, because my feeling is that the mining operators are much more interested in data now. They've begun to use it, have begun to see how it can impact efficiencies.
I think not just interested in data, but producing a lot of data on a day-to-day basis. And
capturing it and not knowing what to do with it sometimes.
Exactly.
Not just knowing what to do with it, but having the tools to harness it and put it into a format that is useful to everyone. And specifically with drill and blast, if I can bring it back to an interest, is it tends to be quite a high attrition department. So, young engineers will come into drill and blast.
It's a stepping stone to other...
100%, 100%. And, they're just learning how to design a good blast, and they go off to mine planning, or they go off to do their underground time. So giving them the tools, giving anybody the tools to be able to use all of that data, but in an accessible and an intuitive manner, is really important. And it's something that we're trying to do with Next Gen SHOTPlus, the model through time, and ORPro.
In the old days, we used to talk about expert systems, where people that didn't know the technology that well could still come in and, based on past experience, come up to speed very quickly. And I don't know if I'm talking about the same thing you are, but it sounds like it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's commonality of design parameters and templates and standards on a mine site, and codifying that for the operation with technology. But it's also about the learning curve. So the way that we build technology and software, the way that we understand the workflows from customers should be reflected, and we try to reflect it in a way that makes any new user pick up the technology rapidly.
Yeah.
And that's what and that's another facet of concentrating on workflows.
And I don't know if this is a stereotype or not, but I have the impression that new users or young users may be more interested in, or do you know where I'm going with this?
Maybe I don't find that there's necessarily an age range that determines interest in the technology, but certainly to a certain extent, there's a much more rapid uptake and adoption and learning of technology for certain younger generations, because that's what they're...
It might be generation, not age, but there's a...
Generational, yeah.
I think if you can show anybody the value that a tool will have, that it's not just a tool for the sake of inserting a tool into their job. It's not to make their day harder or to make their tasks take longer. It is to generally take a load off their shoulders and to make their job easier and better and safer or faster. So I've had experience introducing one of our other technologies, Blast IQ, into sites where part of that technology is using a tablet on bench to start recording drilling and loading QA/QC. And I've had experiences where people were a little bit hesitant to start with. But the moment that they realised that how much easier it made their job on the whole, you couldn't take that tablet off them. There's absolutely no way they'd go back to paper. So it's about helping people to understand the value that these tools deliver and making sure they do deliver value. Don't just give people a product because you want to sell a product. Give them a product because it's going to make their job better, make their job easier, make their job safer, make their job faster.
Well, we've talked about this evolution and this new product, which we were introduced to not just today, but 1 minute before the show started. So this is brand new, breaking news. But I want to thank you guys. This is really interesting. And anything you want to leave with our audience before we close out?
We've just launched Next Gen SHOTPlus, so I'd love to hear from people about that and see what they think. Anybody here that's here at Mine Expo, come to the presentations we're doing. We want to hear what people think. Like I said, we want to be listening to people to understand what their problems are, not be selling them a tool. So come and talk to us, tell us what your problems are, and see what we can do to help.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Any final remarks?
I think I would just second that. I wanted to talk maybe about technologies and where we're placed with our current suite of solutions, but that's a really pertinent point. Is we've just launched something new, and I think the greatest thing for us to continue doing what we love doing is to talk to customers and make sure that, hey, what we presented today, this is of interest to you guys. Is this something that you think will solve your problems? Yeah. You know, obviously we base a lot of the value propositions on customers and customer interviews and conversations we've already had, but we want to know what the rest of the world thinks, right? So absolutely come talk to us and give us a bit of feedback about our presentation.
I really enjoyed this. I learned a lot. So Daniel, Andrew, Andrew.
We only call him
and
Daniel
Alfred
when we're
Tsang.
angry at him.
Did I get that right?
You got that.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this discussion. And to all of our Mining Now audience, thank you for joining us. We're talking about Orica Digital Solutions at Mine Expo in Las Vegas.